Okay, so imagine this, an author who's so anonymous, he only ever shows up in a mask. An author who, get this, started out making these bizarre YouTube videos and is now a global literary sensation. I mean, he's outselling some of the biggest names in the business. Today, we're going to dive into the whole phenomenon of Uketsu.
All right, so how did a masked YouTuber posting these surreal videos of asparagus, of all things, become Japan's biggest literary star? It's a fantastic question, and let me tell you, the answer is a wild ride. It's this crazy mix of modern internet culture, classic Japanese theater, and this brand new kind of horror, architectural horror that has readers all over the world completely hooked. And look, when I say sensation, I'm not kidding. The movie version of his very first book, The Strange House, it pulled in over 5 billion yen at the Japanese box office. To put that in perspective for you, that's about 32 million US dollars. We're not talking about some small cult following here. This is a full-blown mainstream blockbuster. And if you need even more perspective on just how huge this is, get your head around this. Uketsu's book sales in Japan have blown past works by these legendary, globally famous authors. We are literally talking about him outselling Haruki Murakami's newest novel. I mean, come on, that is a massive, massive deal in the publishing world. His dominance of the market is, well, it's just staggering. At one point, Uketsu had not one, not two, but 3 of his books in the top 10 bestseller list in Japan, all in the same year. Think about that for a second. He's not just another author, he's practically become his own genre. And it's not just about the money or the sales numbers either. He's getting serious critical acclaim, and it's happening all over the world. His novel Strange Pictures was actually shortlisted for the Waterstones Book of the Year award over in the UK. That's a huge deal. They called it a reading experience that is as eerie as it is unique. And honestly, that really nails it. So let's just recap for a second. The scale of his success it's just off the charts. This guy is a true cultural force who basically came out of nowhere to completely take over the bestseller lists and grab the attention of the whole world. But here's the thing. All of this incredible success is wrapped up in this thick blanket of mystery, which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. Who is the man in the mask? Yeah, this is the question on everyone's mind, isn't it? I mean, we live in an age of influencers and personal brands where everyone is online all the time. And this guy, he's chosen complete and total anonymity. It's fascinating. So what do we actually know about him? Well, not much. The list of facts is incredibly short. We know he's a guy. We know he lives in Kanagawa, which is right near Tokyo. And we know that at some point he worked in a supermarket. But his age, his real name, his face? Nope. All of that is a total secret, apparently known only to about 30 people in his tight-knit inner circle. His public persona is, well, it's deliberately unsettling. It's unforgettable. He only ever, and I mean ever, appears wearing this plain white papier-mâché mask, a full black bodysuit, and he speaks through a voice modulator that makes him sound really high-pitched. He's basically become this kind of ghost haunting his own success story. But you know, there's a really brilliant reason for this whole look. It's not just for show. It's actually based on the kuroko from traditional Japanese theater. Those are the stagehands who dress all in black so the audience basically sees them as invisible. So by dressing like one, Uketsu is making a really powerful point. He's saying, don't look at me, look at the story, focus on the clues, focus on the puzzle. And his rise to fame was just meteoric. I mean, it happened so fast. He starts out on YouTube making these weird, surreal art videos, like one where asparagus turns into fingers, okay? But then, in 2020, he posts this 21-minute video where he just analyzes a strange house floor plan. And boom, it goes viral. By 2021, that video becomes his first novel, and just a few years after that, he's a global award-nominated author. It's just wild. All right, so we've established he's a massive sensation, and he's a total mystery. So now let's get into the how. What is it about his books? What's the secret sauce that makes them so darn compelling? Okay, so Uketsu's work really boils down to 2 main ideas, 2 signature styles. First, you've got the floor plan mystery. This is the whole idea behind Strange Houses, where the house's blueprint is the crime scene. The clues are right there in the architecture. Then you have the diagram-heavy novel, which is what you see in Strange Pictures. In these, a bunch of eerie drawings and sketches are the keys to unlocking a much bigger conspiracy. And his writing style is super smart because it's basically designed for how we consume things today. The books are short, really punchy, they're packed with dialogue and visuals, like the floor plans and drawings, and there's not a lot of that dense, long-winded description you get in some novels. This makes them so easy to get into even if you're not a big reader. He's kind of bridging the gap between things like manga or video games and a traditional novel.
Okay, so maybe you're thinking, all right, I'm intrigued, I want to give this a try. But where do you start? Well, let's break down the 2 main books of his that have been translated into English. So one option is to start with his debut, Strange Houses. This is the classic floor plan mystery. The story follows a writer and an architect who get their hands on this floor plan for a totally bizarre house in suburban Tokyo. As they dig into it, they start finding these really unsettling things, like a weird dead space that seems to have no purpose, or a very, very dark one. Yeah, there's a quote from Crime Fiction Lover that just perfectly sums this book up. It talks about the disturbing hidden meanings that can lie behind innocuous-seeming floor plans. And that's exactly it. It's this idea of architectural horror, finding real terror in something as simple as a blueprint, and wondering what secrets are hiding behind closed doors in a normal-looking neighborhood. Or you could go a different route and start with Strange Pictures. Now, this was actually his second novel in Japan, but publishers in the West were smart and released this one first. It's a different kind of puzzle. Instead of one floor plan, you get a series of really eerie drawings that you have to use to connect 4 stories that seem totally separate until you realize they're all part of one huge, horrifying mystery. The Telegraph called it ingeniously connected, and that is the perfect word for it. So if you're the kind of person who loves a good puzzle box story, where you're piecing together clues from all over the place to see the big picture, then this is an absolutely fantastic way to jump into your Uketsu's world.
All right, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. We've seen how he became this massive thing in Japan, but why did it catch on so powerfully all around the world? What made it go global? His global expansion was just explosive. I mean, his books were snapped up for translation in over 30 languages almost immediately. This led to these huge coordinated book launches in places like the US and the UK. So yeah, this wasn't some slow burn success. It was a massive global publishing event right from the get-go.
And it seems like there are a few big reasons why it worked so well everywhere. First, the puzzles are visual. A weird floor plan or a creepy drawing is weird and creepy in any language. They just cross cultural barriers. Second, he's riding this big wave of popularity for a translated Japanese fiction. And third, like we talked about, his style is just perfect for bridging that gap between online content and a classic novel, which really clicks with a younger audience. But at the end of the day, Uketsu's work does more than just tell a spooky story. It really makes you look at the world around you a little differently. It gets you searching for the strangeness hidden in everyday things. And his books leave you with this really unsettling question that just kind of sticks with you long after you've put the book down. What dark secrets are hiding in the blueprints and sketches of our own lives?